Mordex is the most popular character in Brawlhalla history, and yet still, there is one part of his kit that goes criminally overlooked. It's not the giant disjointed side sig that robs your stocks so early, nor the endlessly reliable end sig force field. No, I'm talking about scythe down sig. It's a bit of a weird one. It's unconventional. It's a retreating, non-retreating signature, but you can start to see a little bit of what I'm talking about. Of course, you're no stranger to this move. You've played against a million Mordexes. Like I said, he's the most popular character in Brawlhalla. Of course you have. It's just this move really does not get talked about in comparison to some of his others. I mentioned the other two scythes, but Gauntlet Downsig is probably his most famous move. That move has been nerfed however many times it has, like years and years of nerfs at this point, so it's not even the most popular downsig. In spite of that though, if you start to play some Mordex yourself, you'll really feel how this move changes your kit, and that's part of what I'm going to be showing off today. And apparently not much else. The number one thing about downsig is just the smoothness of it. It is a weird move because most retreating signatures in the game, think like Azov Bow downsig, that's a retreating signature, a classic one. They leave you behind, right? Scarlet downsig on the lance. But this one, you go back into the same place, which makes it not only incredibly quick and clean and snappy, but also, as you saw right there, weird to punish. Not even to mention that it also has active input if you hold forward. I'll get into all of that and more as the video goes on, but I feel like I should properly, okay. Oh, I didn't even die. Nice. I should probably give a personable intro to this casual commentary. I know I say this every time, but it has been a while since I've played Brawlhalla. This time it's not because of midterms, it's not because of finals, it's not because of solitary confinement. I just had guests over because I was gone for a little while and I met some people and I was studying. I see what you're trying to do. Is not happening. Lost my train of thought, but can you blame me? Basically, I met some people when I was gone, when I was in Korea. I made some friends and we had a reunion and I was hosting. And here's the thing, nobody knows I make videos. So I was not about to pull out the dual monitor gamer setup. I was not about to pull out all the recording gear or the SteelSeries Apex Pro LED RGB light rapid trigger. No, this is what I showed them. So needless to say, I was unable to game for a little bit nor record. So I'm a little bit rusty. I'm a little bit rusty. Sue me. I will say though, if you'll allow me to have an extremely rare moment of genuine, authentic vulnerability, why do I even try to open up? There is that funny stereotype of the dude who goes study abroad in like Europe and then he says his life is forever changed, but I unironically, I guess I didn't study abroad, but I had an experience that was gratifying and genuinely life-changing and made me reevaluate a lot of the things that I think matter. And the number one of which is people. Holding on to these interpersonal relationships, of which these people are examples of. And if you've watched my videos for a little bit, and you know my history and all that, that's like a pretty crazy. I mean, I've talked about it here before, like kind of ad nauseum. I don't know if I want to go into it more, but the TLDR is I've had a lot of trouble with these kinds of things in the past, and if you're someone who runs into a lot of anxieties, particularly social anxieties, I get it. Like, I get it. It is one of the most frustrating and debilitating things to run through your mind, because the one thing that you want more than anything is for them to go to the right. Is also the brainworm that brings you some of the most strife and suffering and painful, hurtful thoughts. So it is a mountain to climb. And I don't feel great just sitting here in a video about a 2D Flash game just saying, oh, if I could do it, then so can you, because I don't know, like, your history. And to be honest, as much as I share, you don't even know mine either. It's only a very, very, very tiny sliver of me. I hope maybe I can give you, like, a realistic, general perspective about what it's been like. Because to be honest with you, I don't even know why I'm sharing this. Maybe I just cut all of this out. I'm in a good mood, okay? What I do want to say is that, number one, I forgot to turn up the music again. It was so loud in the main menu screen and the character select and the loading that I just put Animal Crossing. Is that it takes a lot of work, and the work isn't easy because it's exposing yourself on purpose to the very thing that hurts before, during, and after, and it doesn't feel like you make any progress at all. But you do. It just might not be visible. The way I like to explain things is like boiling a pot of water. It'll only start boiling at 100 degrees Celsius. And don't talk to me about atmospheres, don't talk to me about individual molecules and how it's changed. You see the little simmering bubbles? It's just a very simple metaphor. When your pot of water is on the stove, you could be heating it up, you could be putting it over an open flame, putting in all of this work, and it seems like nothing is happening. You're heating it up, and nothing's changing at all. And then all of a sudden, you hit 100 degrees Celsius, and it's bubbling over like crazy. I can't believe I live there. But of course you know with a pot of water that it would be impossible for it to bubble over, for it to boil, without all of that invisible effort going into it. It needed all of that work to heat up to reach the point where change was visible. That pretty much captures my experience with how I've completely shifted. Look how hard that move is to punish. My mental in everyday life. And death. So that's the first thing. Little itty bitty experiences might not seem significant, but they compound over time. The second thing is that there are going to be ups and downs. There's going to be times when you feel on top of the world, like you can do everything, anything, everything you've ever been afraid of and paralyzed by. It's no problem. It's easy. And then there's going to be times when you feel the doom and gloom and the brain worms are coming back, especially if you're already feeling stressed or sad or down for whatever reason. All of those familiar thought loops are going to have a much easier time bubbling up back to the surface. So just because that happens doesn't mean you've completely reverted or that all the work was for nothing. In fact, it means the opposite, because it means that that is no longer the default norm 100% of the time. And it may also be a quantity game to figure out the quality, if that makes sense. Like, not everyone's gonna click with everyone instantly, and sometimes people just make you feel worse about yourself being around them. And I think if you don't have a lot of interpersonal experience, it's hard to gauge that. But it'll happen over time. I mean, I'm obviously still learning all of this, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But I don't know. I've already talked about this for way too long. This is a scythe down sig video, okay? So yeah. You know what I'm saying? Basically, I'm just in a good mood. You caught me in a good mood, and so I want to talk about why I'm in a good mood, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. I hope that if you guys don't have it already, you can find people that make you happy to be around them and like inspire you because they're like really cool and you just like Sorry, I needed a bit of a mental reset there. I feel like I blacked out for the past 18 games. Like, what am I being surrounded by people that inspire? Like, what am I talking about? Okay, gross, yuck. Like, let's play video games. It is something that is like kind of nice though, because I didn't realize how lonely and isolated I felt until I was surrounded by people that I genuinely could be myself around and that like me. Disgusting. Can we move on, please? Yes, thank you. See, they're also using down sig. That's the thing about it. It's like you go back in place after using it. It's very interesting. I missed my dash on the thing there, and that also missed them kind of badly, but that's okay. Mordex really does have what feels like the smoothest scythe in the game. I mean, just this move is crazy. I also backed up right into that. That was funny. This map has the highest ceiling in the world. They will die if this hits them though. Like, why didn't they go to the right? I'm sorry I got so derailed. It was just fresh in my mind, and then I started rattling off. And you guys know what happens when I start rattling off. Anyway, I guess I should leave enough time in the video to actually talk about what the video was originally supposed to be. I have no idea what I'm doing. What you guys don't know is I just kept talking. Like, I genuinely just kept talking. There's a lot of games in this video that are, well, they'll never see the light of day. I mean, okay. Not only is it some absolutely horrid brawlhalla, but sometimes I should learn to shut my mouth a little bit. That was a little unfortunate. It's okay. I'll have another chance. And then please go to the right this time. See, if I just ask for it, it'll go to the left. It is funny though, because it used to be in the past when I'm just talking about whatever's in my head. That's sometimes when I play the best brawlhalla. But I think because I'm like in this rust period, I have to get my fundies back, my little fundamentals. So that really was like a classic casual commentary distracted segment though. I mean, if you've been here for a while, then you know. And if you haven't, then you can probably predict because of everything else I do. Back on topic though, I think Mordex downsig is slick and clean. Like, what am I supposed to say to follow that? You know what I mean? I can't just go back to playing normally and just looking for the down. I guess I can. It's funny because I started this so professionally. Like, I had an intro and everything. I was setting up the reason. Oh, here's like Mordex in comparison to other. Here's like the other examples of six. No, and then it just devolves. Also, this map has no music whatsoever. Let me calm down. I really did miss playing Scythe. It's funny, like when I was gone for a couple of months, I had this existential realization where I think I just want to play Scythe every day, which is funny because ever since coming back, I've played Brawlhalla maybe once every 5 days. But you know, it's the thought that counts. But I also made up that I was thinking that, so what does that mean? I mean, not entirely. I did want to play Scythe, but I'm the type of person that just gets bored of stuff like really fast. Like, I don't think I'd ever main one character, because that's just not me. And I had to learn that about myself, and now it's a period of growth. I almost missed them. Anyway, let's just close this thing out strong. Okay, let's be so honest. Do I really need to talk about why the downsig is good? I mean, we all know why it's good, right? I guess the only thing I really should specify is why I think it's so underrated. And I honestly think it's number one just because it's not as straightforward to use as the other two scythe sigs or even the gauntlet sigs. I guess gauntlet end sig doesn't get that much love either. I think that move is extremely underrated, probably more than the downsig, although I don't think it's as good as the downsig. I'm getting sidetracked again. Somebody hold me back. But yeah, it's silky smooth, it's fun, it's a good time. This video was not like I planned at all, but sometimes that's when you have the best times. Good night.